A very good evening to our viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Evening Review. My name is Toivon Jabela, your host. Tonight we are welcoming back to the platform Paulus Noa. He's Director General of the Anti-Corruption Commission. We want to get a proper understanding of the issue involving the Minister of Higher Education, Dr Itah Kandjii-Murangi, a subject on which the ACC has pronounced itself last week. Mr. Noah, thank you very much for making time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's start with, I want to appreciate first, to express my gratitude first, because even prior to you issuing a statement last week as ACC, you personally have spoken to the media also when they approached you to say whether you were taking any interest in that subject. How did ACC get to know about this information that is circulating now?
Yeah, no, actually, we happen to get it like many other news that we get either from the print media or from this social media. Like in this one, you remember that there were these accusations of corruption circulating on the social media. And as ACC, it's our mandate to follow on any allegations that are related to corrupt practices. We felt that probably this is something serious, but for us to establish the seriousness of the allegations, we needed to approach those who said to be the author of those circulating social media news. As a result, I instructed my head of investigation to make consultation with Dr. Japan to establish, actually to inform him to come to us so that we could interview him, and if needs be, to request him to give us a statement based on those allegations, or just to refer us to some source that we can consult with. Remember, as a ACC, we have a responsibility to protect the sources as well, like the media exactly does, like any other institution that is established by law may do. We have the same. In fact, the purpose was to lay the basis, because the law says that you need to lay the basis by way of a statement that is signed by the source in order to decide whether there is any merit for investigation into the allegation. Well, his reaction, which is entitled to say that no, he was not prepared to give any information, nor to refer us to the source of information. Then we said, no, fine. Well, then that being the case, because for us, by virtue of saying that, we have already initiated that, no, we have to look into this. Yes. Then we decided, okay, without him, we can still continue pursuing the developing information. And then we decided, no, fine. As time goes on, we decided, no, we have to summon the executive director. The institution itself, you wanted it to be the last institution to approach after you have laid your basis, that you will be able to contradict the institution against the information that they may be giving you. But then in the absence of that, we have to call in, I summoned the executive director and instructed him that he should bring all the documentation relating to the allegations. That is exactly what he did. He brought me all the claims, advance and the claims of the minister, the letters, whether a letter from the office of the president, is the letter that he has he has addressed to those institutions. And also the letters that were addressed to him by the personal assistant, because the personal assistant is an administrative officer who actually does a lot of administrative work for the minister, and she's the one who was addressing to him, saying that, okay, the minister has to travel, please prepare the travel allowances like any other official, any other minister or any other senior officials. The executive director is the accounting officer. That is what he did. Now, it transpired that the time the minister had to travel and the time the executive director was notified about the minister's travel. In some of the instances, it was just a matter of 3 or 4 days. Government bureaucracy doesn't work like that. More especially that the finance is centralized. Everything is authorized by the Ministry of Finance. And the specific vote from where he had to pay, there was no sufficient funds for that. He had to make some varmentation from his other votes. For him to make those varmentation from other votes, the whole process must go to the Ministry of Finance. And it's a matter of, I'm working for government. I know the process. It cannot be something done within 3 or 5 days. It takes some time before that. Then he then decided, no, fine, I will write it to this institution. It's not one instance, remember, it's 3 instances. One instance, the minister was traveling to Korea. The other one, the minister was accompanying the president to Cuba and Jamaica. And the other instance, there was an event of that she has to attend at the United Kingdom. And then in all 3 instances, he has written letter to the management of the institution to assist, because this institution are independent from government. They don't follow government the bureaucratic process of payments. Those are having their own systems.
So the you see what is troubling a lot of people, Mr. Noa, is that it was not a once-off occurrence. Like, okay, this is a situation, the minister reaches out to NAST and get assisted. And from there, it ends there. It has become a perpetual thing that, because you can't say that, okay, there are only 4 days left, and then next time again, it's the trend that is troubling a lot of people.
That one perhaps one would say it is the executive director himself who should explain and say, why don't you all the time keep money available in the votes of the minister? Because look, the money paid is not that it was more than what was due to the minister. It's the same money the ministry was going to pay to the minister. That's why when they were paying back, they were paying exactly the same amount. They were not giving more. Unlike the understanding of some of the public members, they thought maybe the institution was now just pumping money in the pocket of the minister. It's not like that, because look, the government has got already set up standard of payments. When you are traveling to a particular destination, they know how much is due to the person, depending on the title of that particular person. Like a minister, for example, what a minister is entitled to may not be the same as what the executive director is entitled to in terms of traveling. So what he was requesting was already calculated. Actually, it was already calculated in their documents, or in their advance claim documents, to say that no, this is the amount that you will need to make the payment, and that is exactly the same amount that you will be paying back. So it was like that. Now to say why more than 1 time or 2 times, I think that will not for me to defend, because look, those are administrative issues. And as you know that there is a ruling, I have a copy of the ruling. You know the ruling from the High Court, that Tekla case, where the High Court decided that no, those administrative issues that are defined as corruption. They must be struck out of the Anti-Corruption Commission because they must be dealt with by administrative institutions, not by Anti-Corruption Commission. Anti-Corruption Commission must focus on criminal intent of corruption, not on administrative arrangement. And hence, you have also seen the statement that I issued that I said, no, look, what happened there is an internal administrative arrangement between the two institutions. It's not something that I would now stand up and say, no, I'm going to direct the head of NAST or the head of UNAM or the executive director to the criminal court or to be prosecuted for having agreed to assist each other in that way. After all, it could probably amount to corruption if, for argument's sake, this money was paid to the minister and no payback was made to the institution. There you could see that it may amount to even an issue of laundering of money if it was like that. But for the fact that it's like I'm coming to you, I borrow you, Mr. Njebera, give me $10. Tomorrow I bring you $10 and I bring you $10. If I don't bring it back, you have reason to take me to the police and lay a case of theft. I hear you. That is what happened.
Did you, one of the most serious allegations in this matter that are being made or is that the minister double-dipped, that apart from those payments by the SOEs under her ministry, there were other payments for the same trips coming from the ministry itself. It's a bit strange of an allegation, but it has been made. Have you looked into that?
Yeah, okay. Remember that we just started with an investigation, and we share with the public our finding as far as the ministry is concerned. Because of a lot of talk that were going around, making around that no, the minister has milked those institutions and also the ministry itself. We wanted to clarify this because we had those information. And I have also indicated that after we have been satisfied, notwithstanding that we are satisfied with the information that we obtain from the ministry, contrary to any other information, because we don't have any other information that is rebutting what we got from the ministry. Notwithstanding that, I indicated that our move now is to also obtain statement from those institutions concerned, so that those institutions can inform us whether what they borrowed to the executive director was paid back to them as per the information we obtained from the executive director. Secondly, I have also indicated that, notwithstanding the head of this institution, I am again going to serve summons to the minister so that minister must depose a statement where she confirms that she is not now owing the ministry nor any other institution from where she has obtained money in addition to this travel allowance that was given to her. And not only that, we want the minister to also inform ACC that upon return, because you remember that there are instances where a person undertakes a trip and come earlier than what was anticipated. If you come earlier, remember that you will be owing the ministry or the institution that pay you, because some other days you were no longer there in the mission. In those instances, the executive director ought to inform the official who traveled that you are owing an institution such amount of money and you ought to pay this amount of money. The same apply if, for example, a person for unforeseen circumstances overstays. Maybe person engaged in other official activities and came maybe a day or 2 days later. The institution might be owing this person, and then as a result, the institution has to pay for it. That will be determined by the claim that will be submitted to indicate that I went on such a date, I only returned on such a date, and the explanation why there was a delay in coming back.
Yeah.
In that instances, the institution may be owing a person. But in this case, we are still pursuing, as I said, that we are still pursuing the institution to confirm that, yes, everything that was borrowed from them was paid back. We are still going to pursue the Honorable Minister to give us an information that the advance that was paid to her is the advance that was due to her, and upon return, she was not owing the ministry, hence she did not pay anything, or she has owed the ministry and she has paid back to the ministry. Because if we find that she's owing the ministry, then the whole scenario may take a different picture, unless there are good justification. Why?
Absolutely.
You are owing the ministry after you have returned, after such days of coming back, and then you are still not paying the money back. What is the motive behind that? There should be explanation for that.
Absolutely.
No question about that.
Absolutely. I wanted us to go for a break, but I think we might just continue to have this conversation, Mr. Noa. So, speaking of, because it's a scenario, actually, one of the allegations is exactly around the scenario that you just painted now, that the ministry went to the Namibia National Commission of UNESCO. She went to New York, and the organizers of the event had not paid her on time. She reached out to NATCOM, which falls within her ministry. They paid her money in March, and we are hearing from our sources that she hasn't paid back that money yet.
Oh, okay. No, that's a good news to ACC. I will not say good news or anything, but let me put it that is developing news to ACC. And those are the things that we wanted to clarify, definitely. We want to clarify. Remember, bringing in the executive director 2 times, because I called her 2 times now, does not mean that we cannot bring her in again, depending on the development. You know, when you are conducting an investigation, it becomes a developing story. It's just when you are in the media house, you write today it's just a 2 paragraphs, the next day you get more additional information. If that is the case, we would want to understand what is the justification for not paying back that money. The minister must explain to us.
Absolutely.
Because if there is no justifiable explanation, as I say, that any issue that may be treated as innocent today may develop into something else that may no longer be innocent, depending on the circumstances and the nature of what transpired.
Absolutely. So far from the ministry side, Mr. Noa, you have strictly only dealt with Dr. Van Kent, or did you speak to, did ACC actually speak to the minister herself?
No, I didn't speak to the minister. Because remember, the minister, let me put it like, she is a kind of an alleged, I'm saying an alleged suspect in this matter. And her being an alleged suspect in the matter, we need to develop evidence based on those allegations that are being made. Remember, if you are making an allegation against a person, you should be able to prove that allegation. And this is exactly what I say. I said, these things of character assassinations, vilifications, and even insult of a person, when you are not ready to go and give evidence to the institution that is a mandate to investigate, it doesn't work at all. Namibia, that's not the way we needed to build this nation. When you have got probably issues with me, you go on either print media or social media, wherever, and you start vilifying me. It should not be like that. But if you are making allegations of corruption, you know where to go. You come to Anti-Corruption Commission, or if you have no trust in the Anti-Corruption Commissions, like some of the people says, go to the police. Yes, at least there is an institution where you can go and report your allegation of corruption. If you don't have trust in the police, there are other offices. If you go to the ombudsman, definitely they will be able to channel those allegations to the relevant authority as well. There are just, in Namibia, there are just so many checks and balances, institutions where you can approach, where you think you have more trust than the other. And then where you have reported, they will have a responsibility to monitor. Once they have reported it to the institution that needs to investigate, they will be monitoring whether that institution is really investigating or not. That is how it is working. These things of rumor mongering and the vilifications and attack of one another, like as if we are in the bush. Namibia is an independent republic, governed by rule of law, and everything must be done according to the law. We should follow the law. Otherwise, we will break this nation instead of building the nation. Yes.
No, I agree that we must follow the established channels. Of course, one of the fears is that people also, the fact that the country doesn't have the whistleblower protection law yet, it makes it also difficult for people really to commit to coming into ACC, dispose affidavits, and then you get exposed, and then you're in trouble. But maybe that's a different conversation. When you are going to speak now to the heads of the institutions that bankrolled, to borrow from some vocabularies, the trips of the minister, are you going to look, for example, at the statutes, the internal policies of these organizations, and say, because it's one thing to say, there's an arrangement between the ministry and these SOEs, but is that actually a documented arrangement, or just a word of mouth? Because it becomes very broad and manipulation prone if people can just walk in and say, give me some money.
Okay, definitely the statement, they will cover that aspect as well. But even in the absence of that aspect, I need to be frank to you. The absence of that provision in their own policy will not necessarily make this issue a criminal act of corruption, where we now say, okay, now we take you to the criminal court because there is no provision here. And because look, as I say, that is an issue that borders on administration. And all these institutions that you are talking about, they have got governing bodies. If at all anyone has to take an action, maybe it's a governing body, board of director or trustee and all these. Those are the body that are put there. And when the High Court struck down those things, because all those things were in the law, in the anti-corruption law. That's why sometimes when people are challenging anti-corruption commission, it's because of lack of understanding that some of those things have since been struck down by the High Court. They were there, saying that anything that has to do with the contrary to the spirit of the law, the procedure, the rules, the policy, and so on, that must be defined as corruptly and dealt by anti-corruption commission. High Court came and he said that no, those cannot be dealt with anti-corruption commission. We have got governing bodies that are there to see to it that they are handing down administrative justice. Why should they should be termed as corruption? Corruption must be determined by acts and circumstances. You derive it that, then you establish that, here a person had an intention, like an example I gave to you when I said that, for argument's sake, we assume they just gave money like that, and there was not even a return back of that money, and there was no demand of that money. Then that could amount to corruption, could amount to money laundering, it could also amount to theft. You can see. You derive from the conducts, from the circumstances, then you conclude that no, there was an issue of corruption here. I'm just saying that assume there is no explicit provision which says you can help another institution. That itself does not necessarily mean that there is now a case for ACC to tackle. But the board that is responsible for governing that institution may find a reason to question and say, why did you do this and this and this? Or they may say, no, there is nothing wrong for us to assist an institution which is one of our stakeholders on board, they may conclude that. Most of the things, Mr. Njebela, has to do with governance. And that's why you find ACC, most of the time, is seized with issues that institutions themselves should have dealt with. And then the public thinks that the Anti-Corruption Commission is not doing its work, unfortunately. When we conclude that, no, here, it's not the mandate of ACC to handle. Yes.
So I've two quick questions for you. We are running out of time, but one question quickly, Mr. Noa, is it a good practice that ministers go to line SOEs and ask to be funded for trips? Because forget about Minister Kandjii for a minute. If that was, because we saw a report in New Era on Friday, saying that several ministers have done this, but I mean, do ministers have to travel? If there's nothing in the budget for, why don't you stay in the country and work? But that is not for you to answer. The question is it good practice if ministers are going around to SOEs? Because you see that the problem here, Mr. Noa, is that you are the minister and your SOEs are bowing to you. Oh, my contract as CEO is coming to an end. Now I have to appease the minister. Oh, our boss term is coming to an end. We have to appease the minister. They command so much authority and power, and people to imagine an SOE saying no to a minister's request like that is almost impossible.
Yeah. No, I agree with your concern. For me, that's not a good practice at all. Yeah. It appears, as you are reading here and there, it appears it has been happening, but that is just not a good practice. Yeah. As you already put it, that it appears they give a signal to the management that you play to my tune or else tomorrow you will not be here. It's not a good practice at all. But I put the blame to the boards of directors of these institutions, because if such kind of things are happening, it's because the boards of directors are not playing their fiduciary duty of governing those institutions seriously. If those, because it's them who needed to instruct the management that this kind of things should not happen. And I believe the management take it to them, isn't it? It's them who probably approve some of these things. I do not know. I do not know. But to answer your question in one word, that is not a good practice.
It's not a good practice. The last question then also is then to say, you see the timing of your statement last week, Mr. Noa, and the choice of words was highly troubling for some of us. You used words like, there was a word, satisfied. I think you were referring to the information provided by the ministry itself that so far you are satisfied with it. Then there was something about plausible. It's another word that I remember from your statement. So, you know, and then you still go on to say that you are still waiting for the heads of these SOEs to bring their evidence. Why would you issue a statement like that? Because I would have thought you would say maybe to say, look, we are looking into this matter. This is what we are waiting for and whatnot. But you sort of took a position already.
No, not really a position. The word plausible, I use it in respect of the explanation given by the executive director why he had to approach the institutions. And I said, it sounds plausible when you consider that. And that's why I even put in the dates when the letter reached his office, and the date indicated as to when the minister was expected to travel. I just want to give you one of those examples, and I will also give you this document because maybe you just read also just from the media. Yeah, media has got its own way of summarizing statement. I give an example where I say, to be specific, in respect of the travel to Korea, the letter of request from the permanent assistant to the executive director is dated the 28th of June, 2022. It's the 28th of June, 2022, and the meeting the minister was going to attend was going to start on the 1st to the 11th of July. You can already see from the 28th, if for example, the executive director was left with how many days? Roughly 2 days only. To prepare. And these are 2 days are the days the minister should have been already on the way, so that the minister could be there by the 1st already. This is actually the basis why I said the explanation he gave was sounding plausible, because there was a very, very short time for him to do the environmentations and have the money ready for the minister to travel.
I agree.
That is the other issue of seems to be,
in summary,
to be satisfactory. Remember, when you are having that information only, you are left with that information. Remember, ACC has a responsibility to prove the allegation against the minister. But the only evidence ACC had, in the absence of information contradicting what ACC had, are those documents provided from the ministry. That's why I was saying that even though we may be satisfied, we still have to go a step further. Yes, that's what I said.
Absolutely.
Satisfied with what we have now, but
it could change.
Not entirely, it could change. Like
absolutely.
Mr.
Noa,
thank you.
It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, this is for you,
thank
so that you can read with time.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but I can also give this one. So, look, this is the High Court case, where the President, the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, then it was Honorable Pendukeni Ifraitana, the Prosecutor General, the Attorney, Ifra Itana, I'm not so sure whether she was she cited here in a capacity as an Attorney General. Maybe she was not the Attorney General. I under correction, because I can see the Attorney General is also cited here, and then the Director of Anti-Corruption Commission. This is a judgment. This is online. You can get, but you can have a copy just to see those things. That
let me wrap up the show now, and then we can continue our conversation. That was Paulus Noa, is the Director General of the Anti-Corruption Commission. We always appreciate the fact that he comes around to fill us in. Thank you for watching.